All right, so I am live on Substack and on YouTube, but I'm gonna keep my focus on Substack and YouTube go die soon. For some reason it doesn't like my iPad turned sideways. So and I only have like 15% over there. So it's going to die anyway. So I will have my focus here with you guys. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. All right, so I've been talking about for a minute. Well, if it's gonna die anyway, I might as well plug my little light up. Hold on. Because that was why we weren't gonna have any light. Okay. That's I don't know if it's better on Substack, but it's definitely better on YouTube. Anyway. Hey, okay. I see it. I see the brightness. I do like a little brightness. Okay. All right. I'm being silly. Should I put my glasses on? I wrote my notes. I took notes so that we can stay focused. If you've been here with me for a while, you know how I do. And so one thing that's really, really important to me, isn't that funny? I didn't even realize. So for those who don't know, like I am serious about my Bible study. So I already knew what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I had not actually pulled out my study Bible because I already knew what we were going to talk about. But I pull out my study Bible and this is it. So you guys know, like I do the things in my Bible. I have what we're going to talk about is already like clearly I have strong feelings about it because I've added pages, postcards, highlighted all around it. Didn't even realize that. Anyway, I have been talking, for a note, because somebody had asked me about sharing the live. You should be able, somewhere here, if you're watching this from your phone or computer, there should be some sort of button where you can hit share and get a link to send it to people. So it should be really, really easy. Um, so as you see, I take notes in, I add pages to my Bible. Like I am serious about my Bible study. And we will definitely say I don't do Bible study in I think the traditional way. I don't teach that God is a God of lack at all. Like that is just because it's not true. It's not true. And when you dig into the word, you know that it's not true. Okay, so let me tell you right now, we are coming from Genesis 1 today. And we are starting with Genesis 1:27. All right, that's what we're going to start with because if we're going to talk about God being a God of abundance, we need to start from the very beginning. Um, I'm really excited about this. I've been talking about doing a Bible study with you guys for a couple months now. And I think also if you're from YouTube, you've heard me talk about it from YouTube before, and I just never did it. I have like my own personal things against it. And I'm like, no, like, this is where you dig in and I do need my glasses for the Bible. But this is where you dig in and you get a lot of your stuff that is from the Bible. You get it directly from the Bible when you're not talking about the neuroscience part. So let's see, because my glasses are over there. All right, let's dig in. I want you to go to Genesis 1. Let's start. Go straight to 26. All right. So, for those who don't know, Genesis 1 is all about creation of the earth. It's about creation of everything from the sun and the moon to the soil to the animals, the cattle, et cetera, et cetera. So, just a little bit, let's back up to 24. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, cattle and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And so it was. Now, I'm not teaching about this today, but if you have your Bible, or even if you're just taking notes, I want you to either underline or circle. And so it was, because this is actually not a part of today, but this is what I do. Unfortunately, I'll see something, circle, and so it was. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kind, and the cattle according to their kind, and everything that creeps upon the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Now, I want to pause on and so it was. If you actually go and start reading from chapter 1, verse 1, you will see a lot of and so it was. God didn't say, like, I think it's going to be. When God said something was, it was with a period behind it. This is how you have to move through life, knowing that if God said it, it was. Let's start there. If God said it, it is. All right. Now let's move into 26, which is the first verse we are. Actually, I'm going to read the whole thing. Then God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. I just want to read it one more time. I know you can read it yourself. Because I don't even know before I even get into it, because that's the whole message right there. Hold on one second. Starting back at 26. And God said, let us, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness. And I'm going to tell you what I highlighted all of this, okay? I might as well just highlight all of the Bible. But then I underline this part. And let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them. And after God created them, God said, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every little thing that moveth upon the earth. Okay. All right. Now let me move to my notes. I'm moving my notes over here. All right. 127. That's where God talked about making you in his image. You have to realize God could have just breathed life and created man, but he didn't. He patterned you after himself. He imprinted his nature, his mind, his creativity, and his multiplication. So think about, in everything I just read, what are the characteristics of God in that? I just want you to think with that. What are the characteristics of God in everything I just read to you? You missed it? Okay, hold on. I'm get on your nerves because you go read it again. Just in case you missed it. Just in case you missed it. First off, God said, and so it was. So I won't go back to that one. But let's make man in our image, in our likeness, so he can have dominion over the sea, over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creepeth. So God created man in his image, the image of God. He created him, male and female. He created him, and God blessed him. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air. What are the characteristics of God? Just ask yourself, okay? Let's start with God does nothing in scarcity. Nothing. That's God. When God creates, everywhere God creates, he multiplies. He didn't just create, he multiplies. When God blesses, anywhere in the Bible, when God blesses, it overflows. When God shows up, it expands. These are the characteristics of God. And then God made you in his image. Identity, we talk a lot about identity. Identity begins with this truth. You look like the one who created you. You have characteristics available to you, in you, of the one who created you. God looks abundant. Everything God touches overflows. Everything God touches multiplies. Everything God touches expands. Everything. So anything that doesn't align with that, is it moving and operating in the image of God? Is it moving and operating in the image of God? If you are over on YouTube, we are live in Substack. It should be in the description of this video. If not, it's the stillwellsociety.substack.com. All right. You have to recognize that any pieces of scarcity that has existed in us, it has been learned and adopted. Our limitation, we've been conditioned that we have limits. Fear is inherited from the world, the people around us, the things we hear. Those are the things that's picked up in our subconscious programming. But abundance, that is actually a part of the seed. It's a part of our DNA. All right. It literally is what they call inborn before you even took your first breath. You were designed to reflect an abundant God. And that means if you believe in God, and if you don't, that's fine. I believe that God lives and moves and breathes in me because the word says it. But yeah, that's fine if you don't. This probably won't hit for you the same way. But if you believe in God, abundance is not optional if you consider yourself a believer. It's not optional. It's not a suggestion. It's an activation. Like when I read that, it should have activated something within you. All right. So first, I want you to pay attention to something. 26 and 27. Okay, so 27, 26. Had 28 started. Where 28 started? Yeah, 26 and 27. Those two are the verses where God created his identity, your identity. That's where he talked about making man in his image. God made your identity first. That was the first thing God did. Then after God made your identity in verse 8, what did he do? He gave you an assignment. Are you living up to that assignment? Most people read that and they think about having kids. That's how I had always heard verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. That is not just about having kids. That is about being fruitful as a whole. That is about multiplying everything that God gave us. Are you in a space of multiplication in your life? Are you multiplying the things that the Lord has provided to you? So first, he gave you your identity, and then he gave you your assignment. Are you moving and operating in God's assignment? Your identity, your fruitfulness, and to be multiplied, like that was built into you before you even had breath. And something beautiful happens as soon as you recognize that abundance is not just like, oh, this is cute to do. Abundance is not just, oh, I need it because I live in this world. Abundance is literally your assignment. Multiplying is literally your assignment. And let me tell you something different happens in in the mind of man when you recognize that actually you were born for this. This is a part of your assignment in your life. This is your mission. All right. I don't always love using this as an example, and I say it sometimes, but I'm trying to say it live too much, but it's the truth. Um, so I like studying dictators and cult leaders and anyone who like believe they have big, huge missions. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate. Most of like the documentaries and such we're going to get will always be all people who most likely they did bad with that. A common denominator I noticed maybe a decade ago, and I started talking to my clients about it, was this underlying belief of every last one of them that a power higher than them had given them a specific assignment. Now, the assignment was never like what they did. That was never the assignment. But often the assignment was to lead a people for purity, whatever their thing was. And for every last one of them, it was always different, right? I'm not telling you what they did was right. I'm telling you there was a common thread that ran through them that also runs through all leaders. All leaders. Every last one. It is very important. All right. So when you think of real dictators who have actually hurt people, like they were able to build something, not like people think it's like, oh, because people hate. No, it's because they had a belief in themselves that something greater than them wanted them to do it. So when they faced something that looked like it wasn't going to make it, you know what? They kept going because they believed that God had a desire for them. When you know what your assignment is, when you know God has something great for you, it should push you to keep going because anything that looks like it's anything less than what God said, you should be like, "Oh, this is not reality. This is a temporary setback because God said I'm meant to be fruitful and multiply. God said I'm supposed to build. God said I have dominion. So if I have dominion, I'm meant to be fruitful and multiply. Anything in my life that looks like it's of lack and it looks like I don't have any power and control, that is not true. That's an illusion. And you keep moving through it. You keep moving through it. Dictators, they just simply use their powers for bad. The powers in itself weren't bad. They used them for bad. You can learn a lot from a lot of people. You really can. I remember saying when I was younger, I was like, you know what, some of the people in prison smart. Like they, especially like white collar crimes, they just use their smarts for evil, for bad. We as a society, we have like we decide we're so in judgment, like, oh, you did this and it was wrong. And you think you cannot learn anything there. Like you might want to be taking notes. You don't have to use it for bad. Use it for something good. But it's there for you. Like, but the vast majority of the world, like their entire lives are spent passing judgment on their ethical beliefs about what they did. But if you strip all that away, they were able to create movements. They were able to be prosperous. They were able to be fruitful. Again, they used it for bad. Don't forget that part. But every last one of them started with the same thing. There was something bigger than them. Go from that. I also study Titans. I have studied Henry Ford and Carnegie and all of them, really. Almost all of them, at some point in some biography or interview or something, they all said they thought they were meant for something greater. None of them came from wealth. None of them. Actually, most of them came from very impoverished backgrounds. But they thought they were meant for more. They thought they were meant for wealth. So you know what? They kept going when it looks like things were not going to work. Over here on YouTube, I have 10% just popped up. Come over to Substack, thestillwellsociety.substack.com, and come find me over here. Every last one of them thought they were meant for more. So it didn't matter that they came from impoverished backgrounds. It didn't matter what came up. It didn't matter what came against them. None of that mattered. They knew that they were meant for something more. And most of them had, religious backing. Most of them had some sort of spiritual backing. So they believed God wanted them to be wealthy. Do you believe God wants you to be wealthy? Or is it just cute to say? Because are you moving like that? Are you moving like you believe God wants that for you? It's also like this belief that if God wants it for me, then it would just come. But faith without works is dead. God didn't never tell you didn't have to work. God talked about the sweat of the brow and tilling the ground. Like you ever had to till some ground? Let me tell you, I'm a garden girl. I have tilled some ground before I went to Home Depot and rented an electric tiller because the other one was a lot. And even the electric one was still physically a lot. Okay. That is a lot. Tilling the ground is not easy. Okay? It's important for you to get that. So if abundance is inborn, God has told you you were made in his image. In his image, he multiplies. He provides overflow. He expands. Scarcity doesn't even exist with God. Why are you not multiplying, overflowing, expanding? And why are you experiencing scarcity? Just something to sit with. Why are you experiencing scarcity? You just don't know. I had a breakthrough just now, sweating from this info. I love that. So I knew I wouldn't be long today. I'm proud of myself. I want to leave you with some questions to ask yourself and move forward, okay? I hope, by the way, you pulled your Bible out, even if you didn't. If you have the Bible on your phone, I encourage you to get a Bible. I don't know why it's something about highlighting and underlining and taking notes in the mark. Like it is something about it, okay? It just hit different. I'm telling you, the verse, like it hit different reading it, okay? Questions to ask yourself, write these down. If I'm made in God's image and God is abundant, where have I been living like I'm not? Where have I been living like I am not? Abundant, that is. Girl, it's the Catholic Bible. I forget the exact name, but I do have it linked in my Amazon store. It's the Ascension Bible. It's the Ascension, but I cannot think of like what you actually call it. And I got the Catholic Bible because the Apocrypha is in there. I don't want any books taken out of my Bible. I like my Bible with all the books that's supposed to be in there. Okay. Where have I been living like I'm not abundant? Next question. Where have I taken on an identity that God did not give me? Where have I taken on an identity that God did not give me? Are y'all writing these questions down? Let me know in the comments. Where have I taken on an identity that God didn't give me? I've been talking a lot about identity. Inside of the Get Rich methodology, the second part of it is two different parts of it. One is about your relationship with money, and the other part is about your identity. We are literally spending 3 weeks of the 6 weeks shifting our identity to that of a wealthy woman, to that of a woman with a Vanguard account with multiple seven figures in it, eight figures if that's where you want to stay focused on. You have to shift your identity. Your identity is what you think and believe about yourself. What you think and believe about yourself. And all day, every day, like all day, every day, I hear and see and read on social media. I'm like, oh, these people have horrible identities. Like, I mean, I guess they're not horrible, horrible to me. They're horrible to me because the things that they think are impossible. I posted a couple days ago about you guys, of course, the last couple years I've charged 225,000 for my private one-on-one work. I don't promote that. The vast majority of people, that's just not a thing that I would promote publicly. It is referral only. It's politicians, it's athletes, it's celebrities. Right? I have a few founders who would sign up for something like that. But I was talking about it and I was asking them, like, what do you charge for your yearly? Why did I do that? People were like having whole breakdowns, like, oh, I know you lying, blah, blah, blah. They didn't stop to look to see that I've been doing this a decade. But what we were really seeing on display, and this is important, and this is identity. What I saw were people who, because they didn't see themselves that way, they could not fathom somebody else had that identity. They could not fathom that somebody else would have that identity. So instantly in their disbelief for my identity, I knew that they didn't have it for themselves. I knew that they saw themselves so low, it just blew their mind. And how dare I be a Black woman on top of that? Like add that to it. How dare I be? I'm not crazy. Like I'm not a race focused person, but I'm aware of the social construct that people have adopted. They would be real mad with me. I don't buy into rules about me being Black nor a woman. So because I don't buy into those rules, the first time I heard a man say he was charging 100, I will never forget. It was 2015. My friend Angela Loria and Angela runs the Arthur Incubator. I think their highest year they did like 50 or 60 million. We started out in the exact same mastermind. Kevin Nation's mastermind, and we became friends in there. We were the only, funny enough, it was several women, maybe 10 to 15. We were the only two women to succeed. Those other women came in there with like these identities about themselves, about what was possible. They would over question everything. Angela and I, we were like, hey, if these men in here could do it, we could do it too. Like I remember seeing posts and they were like, oh, I made 300,000 this month. And I was like, doing it. And then I would read their posts. I'm like, but they're not even like brilliant. These aren't like advanced. Really? And instantly I was like, if it's possible for you, it's possible for me, baby, because I know I'm smart. I might be too smart for my own good. If it's possible for you, it's definitely possible for me. And you want to know what happened? The month I made that decision, I crossed 100,000. That month. Because I decided, that's possible. Oh, hell, let me do this. Before then, I don't think I had made more than 40,000, maybe 30 something thousand in a month. Like I didn't know. So then I saw their identity. Nothing in my head said it wasn't true. Everything in my head said, oh, if these men can do this, and let me be clear, I'm not even gonna lie about my exact thought. My exact thought was, if these white men can do this, I know I can too. That was my actual exact thought. And I remember telling Angela, like, girl, he talking about, like, he teaching people how to start a LinkedIn group. This really? Like, I was flabbergasted. And actually, I'm lying. He was teaching people how to do Facebook groups and bring people from LinkedIn over to his Facebook group. And then he was sick from the face. And I was like, and people paying him what to do this? So even though in my mind, I was like, I would never. In my mind, I was also like, if they paying for that, I know I can. I know I can charge more. So nothing in me said it was impossible. But what I saw was so many people who like had their panties in a bunch, and I do mean the men who had their panties in a bunch. They had their panties in a bunch about me saying I charge 225,000, not knowing I'm nowhere near the highest. I am nowhere near. I mean, they are like going off on there. Then I saw another woman today. She was like, oh my God, she charged 225,000 and she's posting 30 posts a day. Yeah, what does one have to do with the other? Nothing. Absolutely. People chew, when they see you, the beliefs and the things they put on you really talks about their identity. So for me, I find it funny because that's how they feel about themselves. You're sitting back and saying, wow, how can she charge this much? But then she's doing visibility challenges, showing up. This just doesn't feel like it aligns to me, right? Because your idea of work ethic, for you, it means not working as much. Well, guess what? I still don't work more than 10 hours a week. That has not changed. Even with my 30 posts a day, I can knock out 30 posts in about 2 hours if I sit down and do it. And actually, let me be clear, 2 hours, usually I have done half for the next day. I don't work a lot. And I've hit a point in my life that I'm like, you know what? It's time to go harder. Like I want to. I don't have Caden at home. A lot of my not working a lot had to do with my son being back in traditional school. And the only time we really had was when he was out of school. And so all of that mess I used to do, all in the evening, I'm on the computer, I'm working. That's why sometimes I don't reply to you guys in the evening time, especially like when he was here over Thanksgiving break. Nope. Because I don't have as much time with him anymore. And the days are fast, but the days are slow or long, but the years are fast. My baby grew up. And so any little moments I can get with him, I do. Okay. Somebody's messaging me asking how to find the Bible study. Well, I can't answer because we're doing the Bible study. I don't know how to help them. I don't know how to help them. Okay, so that was the second question. Where have I taken on an identity he didn't give me? I want you to know right now that if God is a God of abundance, there is literally not anything you cannot achieve. My $225,000 a year is nothing. As a matter of fact, I've been saying like maybe I need to raise it. 100,000 from just the low ticket products, that's nothing. That is nothing. My $300,000 months, that's nothing. Like, God is a God of abundance. God can give you more. God can give you more. Have you aligned with the person that God gives more to? And have you taken on so even with me having this conversation with you, I say to myself, "Oh, I've aligned with six-figure months, but what happened if I align to seven-figure months? What happened if my belief system decides, like my identity, I'm a seven-figure a month woman, not a seven-figure a year woman? How would that change things?" See, this work never ends. The work that we do here never ends. It's always more growth. It's always a next level. It's always another thing, right? Where have we taken on an identity? And we need to be truthful and honest about the way we talk about ourselves. To be my friend is to know, or my family. You ain't even have to be my friend. You can be my family. If I hear you talk about, like, I will hear them talking about, oh, well, honey, I can't, thinking about my auntie, that kind of stuff. Honey, I can't do blah, 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 blah. YouTube, I'm hanging up. We can come over to Substack. The Stillwell Society, the title of the page, .substack.com. It's 5%. It's about to go anyway, and I don't want him to just die on its own. So, toodles. Let's see. And all right. So when I hear family and such say things like, they'll say things like, oh, times are tough and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, maybe they tough for you. Times are never tough. That's not it. Who said? When I hear people say stuff like, oh, in this economy, I'm like, oh, you in everybody else's economy. I'm in my own economy. You, baby, live in your bubble. Why are you choosing to buy into what others tell you is happening? Did you lose your job? Are you still working? If you lost your job, your bill's still managing to be paid. Like, quit buying into what other people tell you is happening in the economy. What's happening in your world? Stay focused on your world. Stay focused on all the abundance around you. Stay focused on, like, when we talk about the economy, a lot of folks don't even believe in God. They wouldn't even sit through this. They don't believe they're made in God's image because they don't believe in God. So their rules on what's happening in the economy has nothing to do with you. Quit buying into stuff that doesn't align with who God told you you are. God told you you're abundant. God told you you were in overflow. God told you you have more than enough. Why are you buying into anything other than that? If you're made in God's image, everything you touch multiplies. Everything you touch expands. Every business you start, everything you do, stop buying into that. Next question to ask yourself: where have I believed lies about what I am allowed to have? Where have I believed lies about what I am allowed to have? Man, I have a really close friend who's in his 60s actually, and he's extremely successful. He leads, like, when I say extremely successful, I mean very much extremely successful. And even he's a black man. And even he said things and he'll be like, cause black men, blah, 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 blah. Like, repeat it. And I call him out on it all the time and he'll laugh. He like, you right. You right. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. You're only an outlier because you decided the rules didn't apply to you. So quit making that be a rule for anyone else. It's not true. Stop. It's only true. I wrote about in the article I wrote yesterday, I said something can be a truth and not the truth or my truth. We really do get to choose our truths. All right. And we believe lies that limit us. I don't believe, back that up. I do believe there's a greater plan for people to be lied to. I think that the vast majority of people, I think there are people who they benefit from most people not knowing their power. I think they benefit from everybody not being wealthy. The reality is everybody not going to be like it's true. And part of that is because we have been so lied to, we've been lied to and we believe the lies. So lied to, so programmed, and we consistently have people around us and we're seeing things that further promote lack and further promote not having and further promote limitation and further promote all of these things that we really have bought into these lies. And the moment we buy into the lies, we come into agreement with them. And when we come into the agreement with the lies, these lies, the things that we come into agreement with, they're now part of our identity. And when they become a part of our identity, that is what is being mirrored. Your identity. When you look in the mirror, you see yourself, you see your identity, you see who you are. When you buy into a thing, you come into agreement with it, it becomes a part of you that's in the mirror that's going to be reflected back to you. So when you buy into whatever the lies you come up with, that's why that's what you see reflected. I don't care if you had $100 in your account and you had $10,000 of bills. It is no way I would fix my mouth to say I didn't have enough, I was broke, I can't. Oh, baby. Not only would I not fix my mouth, I wouldn't say it. I would just be like I would know it's coming. And me being me, I probably go have a really nice solo dinner to myself. I'll probably end up, I mean, because I'm going to move in abundance with the $100. This is important. The moment you take on anything else other than, we know we're made in God's image. So the moment you take on anything else other than I am always in overflow, God, like I always have more than enough. Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything I touch multiplies. This may look like 100, but this is really 100,000 or a million or whatever you want it to be. The moment you move from that is the moment you lose. You have to be willing to take on a different identity, regardless of what it looks like. There was this show, not Secret Millionaire. Maybe it was. I don't think it's Secret Millionaire. Not the show where millionaires would go into their companies as an employee. But it was another show. Grant Cardone did it, and that other guy did it too. Because I forgot his name, but I started following him. I really liked him. Where basically they gave them like $40, something crazy, and they had to get a hotel, they had to figure out a car, they had to start a business, and in like 60 days or 90 days or whatever, they had to build a company that was valuated at a certain amount. You guys remember that? I want to say it came on CNBC. I don't remember, but it was a few years ago. So good. I love stuff like that. I love stuff like that. Number one, because I'm a business girl. Like, I love business, I love numbers, and I love seeing people build. But the other part, undercover billionaire, yes. The other part of that I think people miss is if you believe you're a person that's successful, if you like, of course I'm gonna be successful. Both of them made it. If you really believe you're a person that's successful, if you really believe you have the mind of that person, if you really, really, I'm talking, them people, I don't remember how much they gave them, like $60, 100. It was not much that they had to figure out how to get a hotel. One of them slept outside one night. For real, y'all. For real. I'm letting all my Southern accent come out. Well, they literally put them out like they didn't have anything. And I think they both started with nothing too, which, like in real life. They managed to do that and still managed to use their sales skills, their ability to talk, because they believed in themselves and they believed they could build something because they had the identity of a billionaire. That is who they knew they were. So they were going to build something great. The reason you haven't is because you don't believe it about yourself. You haven't taken on that identity. You really haven't adopted the I am. All right. For those of you, I saw a couple of you were just coming in, Tanisha. We came from Genesis 26 through, yeah, I don't have my glasses on. I think it's 28. That over 40, yeah, 28. That over 40, you hold stuff back further. um, that's where we came from today. Because when you have an identity, when you know who you are, it doesn't matter that you only had this amount of money. It doesn't matter that you in this roach motel. It doesn't matter that you slept in your car last night. None of that matters because what you know is like you're a person, like this is who you are. And so that means this can happen. It's why millionaires and billionaires can lose money and go to zero. And you know what? Within a year, they're going to be good again because it's a this. But most people walk around with that identity of not having anything. Oh, girl, I didn't even say one, did I? Thank you. I didn't even say chapter one. But most of them walk around with this identity of, I'm working so hard, I'll never have enough, blah, 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 blah. I actually I put on threads this morning. I think I mentioned it in here yesterday. You guys know my first investment in a mentor at all was $100,000 investment. And I ain't had no business. From like a carnal mind, from like a logical standpoint, I'm not logical. Delulu. I was born delulu. We gonna move and operate in delusion forever. I'm looking for something to be delusional about now. I really am. It's December. We got to be delusion December. I'm literally actively like, God, what's my next level that I can be delusional about? I haven't found it yet, but within the next couple of days, I will. I think I love that. I remember, hey, Carla, I feel like I hadn't seen your name in a while. I remember that first investment. It was 10 payments of $10,000. I only had that. I didn't have any business. I literally, like, the carnal mind or the logical mind would say, Stephanie, you're going to end up being sued or you're going to be that. My mind didn't say that. My mind said, baby, I know who I am. I know my work is good. I know how I show up. It's something I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing, but it's something I'm missing. And I know this person is where I want to be. And if this person is where I want to be, this person can take me where I need. I didn't even know what he taught yet. I didn't, not really. But I knew I needed to be in there, and I got in there. And y'all know the rest. Within 4 days, I had $72,000, and that was the same month that I crossed $100,000. Like, I made a very delusional decision with one payment. The number of y'all who cannot, like, you don't believe in yourself enough. You don't believe that God is in you so much so that, but of course, why wouldn't an investment multiply? And the God in you, the I am in you made it. Like, that was my like, and the interesting thing was I was not as into the Bible per se, right? I wasn't, not the way I am today, by no means, actually. As a matter of fact, that might have still been in my period of like, I'm not fooling with it at all. I feel like it probably was still in that period, right? Because I definitely went through that. Um, but I knew me. I knew that there was nothing I couldn't accomplish with the right tools, with the right knowledge, because I take action. I'm going to talk. I'm going to talk some mess. But I take action. I tell my son all the time. My son will talk some mess. That boy will talk mess on the basketball court all day. Yeah, Caden is tall, but Caden can't play no basketball. And like, he can't. He'll tell you. Eventually, he'll get to it. But when he out there playing, he finna talk mess. And I be like, but it seemed to me like, hey, you will practice. If you will be talking messy, I'm going to talk mess and I'm going to do what's necessary. That's me. Faith without works is dead. You can't be speaking things into existence, but you ain't doing what's necessary to bring it into existence, right? So I knew. I have discovered on this journey that most of y'all like talking about what you go do when you're able. You got to do stuff before you're able. If I had waited until I was able, I never would have done it because I wouldn't got to the point to be able. Does that make sense? Like, when was I going to get to the point to be able if I wasn't getting to the point to be able? When you're praying for God to do something, when you're manifesting something, even from a neuroscience, not even a spiritual, you're literally sending out into a universe so doors can open for you. But when you won't even walk through the doors, you are self-sabotaging your own manifestation. And sometimes walking through the doors exists in a space of faith and fear. Because if you are not doing something big enough, you won't be scared. You won't be fearful. Because let me tell you, comfort is a horrible place to be. If something's easy and comfortable for you, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. That's not how the subconscious works. If you are doing something, like the subconscious works to keep you comfortable, the subconscious works to keep you safe. And what's comfortable and safe is what you know. So that means if you're creating something that you don't know, everything that exists within that is going to be scary and uncomfortable. But y'all won't, you're not willing to be scared and uncomfortable. That's not how identity work works. And then it gets to a point that it becomes so normal for you. You like, yeah, I did it. I'm putting myself in that. Yep. It becomes that normal for you. And it means nothing anymore. And I sometimes forget until I start talking to people, and I'm like, well, because we get so caught in our communities, and you guys are so used to me, and you don't tell me that you move in fear. I know you do, but you don't tell me that. I'm knowing from being on social media, like, wow, the vast majority of people still move like that. That doesn't work very well. I'm gonna repeat these questions that I want you guys to ask yourself, and then we're going to go. Okay. If I'm made in God's image and God is abundant, question one, where have I been living like I'm not? Question two, where have I taken on an identity he did not give me? And question three, where have I believed lies about what I am allowed to have? Now, let's see if I missed any questions. This is my belief as well. Nothing makes sense. Sorry, I'm late. No worries. Apparently, I saw people saying they didn't even know I was live. These are some great questions. They really are. Sometimes we can be, wait, we can be the crows in our own ear. We can be the crows in our own ear. That's true. It is our subconscious. All of those beliefs sneaking up, we're the problem. I did a video maybe 2 days ago, maybe. But I said, you got to stop talking to broke people. Listen, if you can be your own problem, why do you need somebody else to be your problem too? Or anybody, let me say, I use broke as an example because I talk about success and money, but really fill that in with anything. I like having friends who work out because I've been on my own body journey. I like having friends who take care of their body and get facials and because you follow. So you don't need to be talking to and hanging around broke people. I don't care who they are. Now your children, they not broke if you not broke, my lord. But they do be. Mine would text me right before here. Can you send me $165? When? Like now? Funny enough, I didn't even respond. I just cashed apped it to him and went on about my business. Them your little broke friends. Those the only broke friends you can have. Anybody else, unless they're your friends who are on a up level journey with you, meaning they're not talking about broke stuff, lack stuff, low levels, like either, unless y'all on that journey to get done. It doesn't mean you have to stop being their friends, but you need to limit your conversation with them. Any TV shows that is about lack or anything like that, done. It's why I like stuff like $1 Million Listings. I think Owning Manhattan is the new episode coming out Friday. I really like that show. Season 2 is coming out of that. He is a spinoff from $1 Million Listing. Anything though that is about luxuriousness, I'll watch it. I won't watch anything about being broke in. I'm not watching social media talking about people broke. As soon as I see you talking about that, as a matter of fact, before I scroll, I usually will hit the thing and say not interested. Don't even show me any poverty things like that. One of the video about being broke, somebody commented and said, in this economic climate, how like tone deaf it is. And I was like, they must ain't watched none of my other videos because do you think I care about being tone deaf? Baby, you need to. Oh, I should make a video about that. Let me make a mental note. And right here. You need to be, because I'm gonna forget. Hold on. Baby, you need to be tone deaf. Why do you insist on buying into the world? Why do you insist on buying into the world? Why do you insist on buying into what other people tell you that you know you don't want for yourself? Ah, it's trauma bonding. Why do you insist, my lord? Be tone deaf. If you don't like it, scroll past, baby. I am not for you. I am for the other people that want to be tone deaf too. And here's my absolute truth. And this is having retired parents and regular friends with regular jobs. I don't actually know anybody that's struggling. I know people who keep taking on the language of struggle because they hear on social media that the world is so bad. They hear on social media that things are so bad. Their ass is still going out eating. Y'all see, I got me doing Bible study and cursing. Lord, please forgive me. But God know I curse. They still going out eating. I got money and I cook. People are not as broke. Like, you keep repeating the bull crap. You keep buying into it. You're buying into it. You're taking it on as your identity. It's not even your truth. Why? Why is this a good idea? Because it's just something to sit up and talk about. It's just something to sit up and talk about. You ain't got nothing else to talk about. Baby, I'm a be tone deaf. Because it's not my reality, nor anybody even around me. And even if it was, I would be like, oh no, we need to take on a different story. We're about to have a different narrative. We about to say something different. Because my people know I don't allow certain conversations around me, honey. You gotta be kidding me. And that was there. And then somebody turned around and made a similar comment on Threads. Like, you can't be shocked that people aren't happy for you when you're talking about making from one client what, 3 times people said, girl, what? You really think I care? Like, really? Why do you, girl, what? Y'all are out y'all mess. And what I realized is I really do live in a bubble. So when I experience, I mean, like, so this how y'all think? It explains so much. Do that feel good? So like, explain to me how this go. So because the economy is bad, you're not allowed to talk about something that doesn't look like the economy bad. But what if it ain't bad for you? So you gotta pretend to not be doing what? Baby, I am not a homegirl who said let them eat cake. Even if I said it, I would have said it privately. It's like the mentality I can't grasp because I'm like, we are living in completely different worlds, baby. God made me in his image. You think God's sitting there talking about the economy bad so we can't talk about blessings? I be confused. Y'all don't be confused. Let me see if y'all talking to me down here. It's a word. Listen, be in the world, not of it. Did y'all put the questions in the comments? I'm gonna do the questions one more time for y'all. But I'm telling y'all, I just be confused in this world more often than not. And one of the things that I have been working on is being more in my comments on social media. I am learning that might not be a good thing because it confuses me so. And I mean, from a very deep, genuine level, because I don't get it. And that's when I realize there are people who are higher than me, who are more like they have more control, more mental stamina and control than I have, who may feel the same way about me. Just like everybody's looking and viewing the world through different veils. And now I'm seeing this through this, and I'm just like, this how y'all think? This is why things feel hard for you. What if instead of saying okay, let me give you an example. The last time we had the crash, I want to say it was like 2007 or 2008, around that time. I was still employed. Um, I think I ended up quitting in the middle of the crash and changed jobs, but I was still employed. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't watch news then either. I didn't know we were supposedly in an economic crash or, I didn't know until well after I had quit. I had no clue. You wanna know why I had no clue? Well, at the time, I wasn't invested in anything anyway, so I wouldn't have known that because a lot of that is determined by the stock market. I wasn't invested in the stock market anyway. I was still working. I was still getting paid. My bills were still getting paid. We were good. Way back then, I was still paying $200 a week for my kids' daycare. Like, I didn't know. Were things higher? Yeah. I was working a job that we got sales bonuses. I would constantly have bonuses. So things higher, okay, I'm gonna make bigger bonuses. I did not know. And people, I was telling a girlfriend and she was like, "What, Stephanie?" I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I heard people say like people were getting foreclosed on, but that just wasn't happening for me or anybody I knew." I really did not know. Dare I say if I knew? Because at that time I didn't know what I know today. Would I have bought into that? I don't know. But because I didn't know, there was nothing for me to buy into. So I went on with life like everything was normal because everything was normal. Nothing had changed for me. And then I quit my job in the midst of and was still okay. I asked for a destiny helper to help me find where I was missing it. Hold on. Get back up here. The questions, Tanisha. Questions were, so if I'm made in God's image and God is abundant, you have to write them this time now. So if I can't. My little thing with y'all comments so small. If I'm made in God's image and God is abundant, question one, where have I been living like I'm not? Question two, where have I taken on an identity he did not give me? Oh, that made it bigger. The tap up there. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure I didn't miss anything, guys. I have worked with some folks with the light bulb missing. Listen, I'm telling you, I think this was one time when I was talking about people make money who are not that brilliant. So if people are not that brilliant and can make money, how dare I can't? And I'm gonna tell you a secret. I think if I could dumb man down a little bit more, and dumb down is not just that wasn't meant to be insulting, but like honestly, if you can teach on like third grade level, that works so much better for most people. I've been working on like how can I simplify a little bit more? Because sometimes what happened, the smartest people struggle the most because we too smart for our own good. So then you need to figure out, okay, so if most people aren't at this level of learning, then I need to figure out how to talk to them and where they are. That's a struggle for most people, especially with advanced degrees, having like it is a struggle. And then third question, where have I believed lies about what I'm allowed to have? Those are the three questions. Now, any other comments if you want to pop in here? I really pray that this blessed your soul and spirit today. When I realized that God talking about having dominion and multiplying was about money, was about abundance, because at the time, I guess the woman was about abundance and having it. They multiplied my land. How many, to just think about the amount of wealth God's people had who really lived. Just people love talking about the New Testament. Old Testament. Just I want you just to sit with it. There is no limit to what you can have. You've bought into your limitations. You've made them a part of your identity. And then that's what's mirrored back to you. God is a God of abundance. If I'm in his likeness, I am abundant. Everything multiplies. What I command to be, I can end with, so it is, so it was. If you go through and look at everything God created, look at the words that he ended it with every single time. The problem is you don't believe that God lives and breathes and operates in you and you were made in his image and you have that power. The problem is you've bought into the doctrine so much that you don't have any, that you don't have any power, that you don't have dominion. You bought into it, but it's not truth. It's not what God actually said. One of my girlfriends, she always says, see, this is why I don't talk to regular people, because so many people are turned off. You can look at some of the comments on some of my YouTube shorts and videos. Oh, baby, they get real upset. Please don't let me say God is a God of abundance. Oh, they get their pennies in a notch. Listen, because you decided you was going to do the opposite of what God is. That has nothing to do with me. Okay? I pray this bless your soul. We've been a little over an hour today. As soon as the recording is ready, I think I'll send this out as a post, so you'll get an email. I don't want it to annoy you with too many emails, but I think it'll show up as a post and you'll get an email. Okay. Any other thoughts before we go? Oh, and if you guys haven't seen the 14th, we start Get Rich Methodology, the 6-week program. There is a 1-pay, 2-pay, and 4-pay available. Anybody that want to be in there can. All right. Go to the post. It's actually on the stillwellsociety.com, but you can also go to the post that talks about now is the time for everyone to be millionaires. It's called The Great Adventures Bible by Ascension. I will put the link in this post when we're done, or I'll put it in the chat. All right. You guys enjoy. Somebody put the questions up. All right. Yeah, I got the questions now. All right. Grab the questions real quick. Take a screenshot because I'm about to end it. You're welcome. I promise don't nobody care about those typos. We are grateful you put it there. We are so very grateful. Okay. You guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Let me know. Do you guys like Bible study? Is this something you want to keep going? Let me know in the comments real quick. Like, how do you feel about Bible study? I'll put the link, Heather. It is kind of difficult. Okay. So I'm like, I had asked last night and I didn't see many people say anything. So I was like, do they want to do Bible study? How are we feeling about Bible study? Okay, wonderful. All right. So maybe this is something that we can make be weekly or bi-weekly or something like that. Okay. All right. I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of this community. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. If you have questions about Get Rich Methodology, reach out. It is time for you to really step into the version of yourself. The information I teach in here, I've never taught publicly. I've only taught privately. So it is nothing like what we've done here, and it's high touch. We have 2 calls, 6 actual videos that come out to you, video trainings. All right. And this is the first and only time I'm going to teach it live. It is always going to be a course moving forward. Please, it helps me. I lost my brother and sister. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so, so sorry. Sending you so many prayers and so much love. And now you have a group of sisters to support you. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.